Warning, we are about to spoil your name. If you haven't seen this movie, then go watch it. And if you've already seen it, then please, by all means, keep listening. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. Okay.
No, we need to get some people out of here.
Yeah. But okay, before we start this podcast, we're serious on this one. If you have not seen this movie, go watch it. If you have seen the movie, that's the only time we'll let you listen to this. If you've seen it, then please listen. But if you have not, and even if you don't care about the movie, go watch it before you listen to this. We don't want to spoil anything.
Like, if I'm being 100% honest, this was a film where walking out, it was just a rush of emotion of just like, this movie was great.
Yeah, it was. Just
This is sort of like, I don't know, I'm going to go with Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Fight Club in the sense of, if you don't know the plot going in, you are going to have such a great time. You can still watch it technically knowing the plot, but you will never get something that's like that first viewing.
No,
where you knew nothing.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And I mean, I'm sure I'll appreciate it again, even more watching a second time. But again, just nothing will beat just the emotional toil of that first viewing.
So, seriously, go watch it or you are ruining it for yourself.
Yeah. We are not responsible for spoiling this because we have given you ample time now to go watch this movie.
We'll give you an extra 2 minutes, in fact.
Exactly. We'll play something stupid for an extra 2 minutes. So if you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. It's okay. We'll be right here for the next 2 minutes.
It seems you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will auto-correct it for you. Thank you for selecting Casual Bongos.
And we'll play something stupid.
Just have casual bongos and this conversation thrown in for no reason.
And what conversation thrown in for no reason?
This one we're having right now.
Oh, well, shit, this is supposed to be off the air.
I know, but, like, they're supposed to be going and watching a movie, so we can break the rules, too, if they're going to break them and listen to this.
Also fair. So, yeah, we're still here. Go watch it.
Seriously.
Go.
Not joking here.
Yeah, no, still time.
This movie beat Spirited Away, and that movie in Japan, at least, it beat Spirited Away in box office, and that movie came out in like 98, I want to say?
No, it was early 2000s, I believe, actually.
Was it? Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like 01 or something. Spirited Away. It was, let's see, 2001. Fucking called it.
Damn it. You said 2003.
I said 2001.
2003.
Justin
we have a recording.
Justin is deaf. Play back that recording. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like 01 or something. Yep, there you go.
And then Cameron's gonna redub it. 2001.
It's like the most obvious dub, like 2001.
No, you get like someone completely different.
Yeah.
Dude. Like you get a girl doing a high-pitched voice.
Like a very like just anime like 2001 or something. I don't know.
Yes. I want you to put that in now so we'll never know if you were actually right. You'll be the only one.
Yes.
See, and that is the creative process behind the scenes. Have you watched the movie? Good.
Good.
So your name. Fuck it, I'll start
Go on.
simple.
Go ahead.
I'll start off simple. This is probably one of my favorite movies of all time now. I'll be 100% honest.
Damn. Hell yeah. It was fucking incredible. So it really was.
I debate going over a quick summary. Well, we just told them to watch the movie.
Yeah, we have given them ample time now. They'll probably
actually, they have infinite time. They could have paused the video.
Also true. But we've made our point clear. And if you're watching right, or if you're listening right now and you have not watched it, then that's your own damn fault.
Yes. And hell, this is coming out in December, so you've had about 2 years to watch this movie. We told you to go watch the movie.
Has it been that? Will it have been that long in December? Yeah, because it was December 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Well, it came out in like 2016, I think, and then it came to the States in 2017.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but yeah, it's December now. You could have grabbed it on sale.
Yeah, and if not, we're telling you to go watch it. So too bad.
We're still saying go watch it. So okay, everyone in here should know the plot by now.
Yeah, if you haven't, then I can't stress this enough. Go watch it.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've hit that point.
Good.
We should also put a little box before the long 2 minutes. I've seen the movie, and then you can jump to here.
Yeah, I was planning on doing that anyway, man.
Well, I'm giving future you a reminder. You are forgetful, like releasing episodes on every Friday.
Hey, now that was a low blow. That was a low blow.
It was, but it's an honest one.
Sorry, I have a fucking job.
No excuse. Think of the fans, all 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, right. Including you, Goober. Love you, buddy. Anyway,
back to the movie. I was about to say something. Okay, this is actually the movie, and the reason not all of these were live action.
Mm-hmm.
Because we watched this movie the day we were going to record Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And we were going to record this back to back, I think, to save time.
Yes.
But we were honestly so emotionally crippled, we couldn't.
We needed time to recover from the emotional journey, I will say, that this movie puts you through. As Justin described it, it takes your heart out, holds it in front of you, and just squeezes it so hard.
No, it literally just rips into your chest and holds your heart and threatens to tear it out every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's took everything in me to not actually cry. It was so good.
Cameron can attest to this. By the end of the film, I was screaming at the screen.
Yes, because, and we'll get to why he was, but yeah, he was literally like screaming at him, like, dude, don't ruin the moment. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm so invested. It's so good.
Actually, I think I'll get into this reason now. Anyone who has not seen 5 centimeters per second, which is made by the same director, so that should be a selling point for you.
Yeah.
It has less sci-fi elements. It's more slice of life. Rather enjoyable. It's only an hour.
It's only an hour long, so go check it. Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah, you can go watch it. If not,
the
skip ahead to here, and we'll try to make sure never to bring it up again throughout this entire thing.
Yeah, we'll try. But yeah, same guy, so it has the same kind of emotional weight to it.
Okay, those people should have jumped ahead.
All right.
The reason I was yelling at the screen was because 5 centimeters per second ends with the 2 characters never meeting. Like, they get so close and then they just leave.
And Justin put it like this too. It's a relatable sadness. It's not like
it's a relatable distance, sort of forgetting about a person.
Yeah.
But that is not the movie we're talking about. Your Name was about to fucking do that.
Yeah.
But thank Christ they turn around and talk to each other.
Multiple instances they run into each other and chase after each other. Like, they walk by it for one time. It's like, oh God, please. And they go on the stairs. They find her. And they're about to walk by each other again. And all of a sudden they just surround him like, hey. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
Oh my God. I don't think I've seen an action movie that has kept me as on edge of my seat.
Oh, really?
As that moment did.
Damn. Oh, it was so good, though.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He was like, okay, if they don't meet up, I'm going to break your disc.
I was just yelling at the screen because I was like, I need this to be a happy ending or everything is pointless and life is sad.
So, shall we talk about the build up to all of this? Shall we get into the plot details?
I think this is more of a synopsis piece, again, since we told people to watch this before.
Yeah, so...
Help, watch it again.
Yeah, watch it again. I'm gonna probably watch it again soon, so...
Don't.
Why?
Don't watch it again soon, man.
It's been a good month.
Do it soon after this episode is released.
Okay.
How about that? I think that's a better idea.
You think I have to wait all the way until December? Okay.
Well, till later this year. Like, wait till summer is at least over.
Fair enough.
You shouldn't play Life is Strange back to back, and you shouldn't watch this movie within a month period.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be. Ugh. Why is it that, like, literally some of our favorite forms of media are really sad? Life is Strange, 5 centimeters a second.
Get into this later.
Your
because
name.
You get. Huh?
I said, Life is Strange, 5 centimeters a second. Your name.
Yeah, but the reason for that is because technically speaking, all this stuff is just lights on a screen. Like, that's a very negative way, but scientifically, that's what it is.
It is. I don't like thinking of it that way, though.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying, and that's just what I'm going with right now to get to the point here. And since something that simple is able to get such a heavy emotional response, that's how you know it's really amazing. In a sense.
And if we want to get, like, deep for a second too, it's like any form of media that does that, like, I think that's the whole point of movies and TV shows, is to get you invested in what's going on and to care about the things. And if a movie successfully does that, then it's worth noting. So
yeah, you're caring about something that doesn't exist technically.
Again, still negative, but true. That one's true. But yeah, it's But yeah, and it's the thing. I like, honestly, like, anime TV shows and movies have done that better than most forms of media that I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah, and you can even think of this for books too.
Yeah,
because, like, you just have words on a page. Yeah, if you can get emotionally invested in that, that's kind of amazing.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like you read it, you get all the, that's the thing about reading books, is you imagine what's going on, you read the images in your mind, your characters and the dialogue. It's just, and if it gets you to care and you keep flipping the pages, that's just incredible. And people have been doing that since arguably the beginning of time with, like, cave paintings and stuff. So.
Oh no, that is sometimes suspected to be people getting high.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I took an art history class. Little detour here.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm interested. Go on.
The only type of candle they could basically make had less than a foot radius of light and would be almost like a strobe light.
Really?
And some people say that the leaders of packs would look at the cave drawings with that while taking hallucinogens, and they would think they're, like, speaking to the animals, or they see the animals.
That's awesome.
Because a lot of the cave drawings, it looks like the animals are in a row, but if you were to have flashing lights, that would simulate movement.
Also true. Interesting. Huh.
But there's a lot of theories on what cave drawings actually meant, because we can't exactly ask the people.
No. We talked about this too. It's just like the further you get away from history, the more speculation it is and less fact. But
anyway, that has nothing to do with this film.
But it's still a nice little detour that has to do with art. But my point was, basically, ever since we were able to write stuff down, we have been doing that. We have been getting things. We have been getting forms of entertainment to get people to care and about it. So, and to have a nice little distraction. And just to, get invested in it. That's the best thing. And that's why...
It's not even nice all the time. Sometimes it's fucking sad.
I know, but again, that's the reason that I love the medium and that we're both becoming movie directors. It's just because it's a medium where you can, one, express yourself, and two, get people to actually care and see your message and, get that out there. So...
yeah.
It's amazing. And this film was just so good in just getting you invested and... God, just dragging your heart all over the place. It was,
We'll get into it, but I'll say one last bit of praise before we actually start sucking it off even more, but in detail.
But exactly.
Because I went in with the knowledge knowing this beat Spirited Away in the box office. Yeah. I love Spirited Away. And I was like, okay, sure. I like 5 centimeters per second. I know some of this director's work. Go ahead. Beat Spirited Away. And then it fucking did.
And it was like, yo, boom.
Oh, you underestimate me. Well, headlock. let's go on a trip.
Exactly, dear Lord. Because Spirited Away is still a fantastic fucking movie, but that
It
was
is. I'm not gonna be
yeah.
like, oh, that's
No.
trash.
No,
it's
but
so
that
great
that
fucking film.
that wasn't so much about the emotional journey as it was about like telling a story and like being like through like the trippy.
Well, no, there is an
so-
emotional journey there.
yeah.
It's just not being hit by a bus.
No, yeah, it's more because it was more Spirited Away was also aimed more towards kids, so it was more of like you're getting invested, but it is emotional. Like she's trying to save her parents, basically. So
Yeah, and also that movie can debatably be like a very dreamlike sort of thing.
yeah, because it gets really trippy and stuff, and that it's like it's a really good fantasy film. But yeah, this one just takes her emotions and just.
Oh, are those your emotions? Let me just pound them into the dirt.
Yeah, and the way it does this is brilliant. And should I start explaining it, or do you want to?
You can go.
Okay.
I've been talking a lot.
It's fine. So this movie starts out with an opening shot in the sky, and things are like swirling around and stuff, and you're wondering what the hell's going on. And is it Yuki or the Mitsuha who gets it, who we focus
You
on
mean
first?
Taki, not
Or
Yuki.
Taki. Sorry, similar names. Yeah. Is it Taki or Mitsuha?
Taki is talking at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, Taki is talking
Wait,
at,
is he?
that's one thing I'm trying to actually remember here.
I think it's Taki talking at the beginning about like general philosophy, and then it cuts to Mitsu talking about her life and how it's boring.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. She's just like, yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that too. So basically, yeah, it starts out like Justin said, and then I forget when it actually like gets to the whole thing about like switching bodies because
Wasn't she practices? No, she was sewing with her sister, and then she yells out that she wished she would be born a boy.
that does she?
It was like, I want to be a boy in the sea, just like having a different life completely
Oh.
is what she was wishing for.
Yeah, something like that. So she says
Or
that.
maybe she's transgender. Who knows?
Who knows? But she actually says that, and guess what happens? So she wakes up one day, and no, I think I remember what happens because because it's cutting to her and she's acting weird, but then it cuts back to her acting normal, and I was like, wait,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait, I thought I knew what was going on, but then all of a sudden, all of her friends were saying, man, you were acting so weird yesterday. It was like you were a different person or something. And they were all talking about, like, what was going on. And it was interesting because they're like, wait, okay, so what did happen? So it turns out that Mitsuha is switching bodies with a person named Taki. And Taki is another high schooler. They're both high schoolers. She is into like this. She's part of this. I think it's like her family's like a bunch of like spiritual people, but her dad ended up becoming a political guy. I think was what it was.
Yeah.
Something like that, because her and her sister and her mother. Is it mother or grandmother?
I think it might be their aunt or it's their grandmother.
Something like that. Her sister, and her relative. Like they do all the spiritual stuff, like they
Wise
do, like,
old woman who knows
Yeah.
about what's going on.
basically, like they do all the like they're sewing, and it shows her like actually like traditionally making an alcoholic drink. I think it's sake of some sort, like where you actually like ferment it in your mouth, spit it out, and then do it like that. I guess we were looking at that and we're like, oh, that's kind of gross. But
Well, I was just like, okay, traditional thing, fine.
yeah, exactly. And I think after it shows her life, then it cuts to Yuki acting weird, or I says voice.
Yeah, it was her waking up in his body.
Yeah,
And then it sticks with him when he gets back.
yeah. So it cuts again to her and his, like you said, he does that. So shenanigans happen, and she finds out what kind of life he leads. And it's funny because like he's talking in like this timid girl voice, like, okay guys, sorry, or something. And he's hanging out with his friends, and she has to go to work, and she finds out that he is a waiter at a restaurant. And of course, shenanigans ensue. She fucks it up a bunch, and then it switches back again. And then I think after that, it shows him in her body. I think, right?
No, once she leaves Taki's body, it shows Taki in his normal life, and then everyone being like, yo, you were super weird yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. And it does that, and how it's structured. And then eventually they're both starting to take notes and leave stuff. And after
To tell the other person
Yeah.
what happened the other day.
And after it happens, so many times, they're like, wait a minute, we're switching bodies. And then I think that's when the theme plays, right?
Yeah, and then it shows a montage of them slowly getting used to switching bodies and saying a bunch of rules, which is honestly really adorable.
Yeah, it was adorable and funny. And it was interesting because that was kind of the tone it set at the beginning. And we're just like, oh, okay, you know, this is going to be a fun thing about, you know, switching bodies and all that. And then all of a sudden, the switching stops for some reason.
And we stick with Taki for this.
And we stick with Taki for the majority of it. And we're like, oh, okay, so they stopped and, like, something happened, I guess, where the universe, like, okay, you've had enough, so go find her or something. And so he makes...
Now, before we continue, what I thought was going to happen here is, okay, Universal stuff has stopped.
Yeah.
Now they're going to find each other, and then it's going to be a normal romantic movie.
Exactly. And it keeps focusing, like, on, you know, this comet that's happening. It's like, oh, look at the sky and stuff. It's like, it's going to happen because they're writing in each other's notes. They're like, make sure you stay on the bridge for this moment because that's when it's supposed to happen and all that. And so he's going out looking for her and all that. And I think his one friend from the restaurant and one of his best friends from the boy group and all that go out.
Oh, it's his boss from the restaurant.
His boss. Okay, it was his boss. I forgot it was his boss.
Who he had a crush on, and Mitsuha kept saying, was trying to set them up.
She set up a date, and I think he kind of fucks it up somehow, right? Like, she's like, oh, well, thank you, or something, and then walks away.
He kind of fucks it, he kind of does. He hits a very solid middle, which was cute.
Middle ground, because I think she can tell that he's thinking about someone else, I think.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And... so they're going out to find her. It's like, oh, gee, I wonder why it stopped and all that. And so they're going, and it shows this montage of them. They're going from town to town because he kept seeing all these images and stuff. And there was one sequence where, like, he was in her body, and they were going to this tree and stuff, and they were taking the spiritual journey across a river and all that. And it showed them, like, doing all the spiritual stuff again because she's from the spiritual family. And, like, then I think he wakes up, and that's, I think, when they stop switching bodies or something. And
I think also at that point the grandmother mentioned that it wasn't Mitsuha in her body.
Yes, she figured out that, wait, that's not you, it's someone or like she says something like mystic, like, you're someone else, aren't you, or something like that. And so he, because of that memory, he makes these drawings of that place, and he's actually a pretty good artist because he has these pretty accurate renditions of the whole, you know, I think it was some volcanic crater that ended up having life growing in it. And he made these really accurate and, like, really detailed drawings. And so they're at a restaurant. They're like, man, I give up. And they're like, oh, there's no way we're going to find this. And someone looks at that and he says, hey, isn't it that place? That's a really good drawing you got there. And I'm like, yeah. Do you know where it is? And they were like, wait a minute. The name of the town where the comet happened? It's at this point that the tone shifts. And it hits you like a goddamn bus. And Justin can attest, I literally shrieked and covered my mouth. I'm like, oh no. And they go to the town. And there's nothing left. Because when the comet came by Earth, they didn't see this coming. It split in two. And the second half of it came down to the town and destroyed it. And this was 2 years ago.
2 or 3,
I forget. 2 or 3 that this event happens. And because me and Justin, all we basically knew is that, oh, you know, it's like, it's highest grossing and that, like, it's supposed to be really sad. And up till then, we're like, okay, how does this get sad? Whomp! Hits you with that realization.
I've never had my heart sink so much during a movie.
Right? Oh my
It was
God.
just literally like, up here being fine, drop.
Yeah. And fucking... oh my God. At that point, I just like, oh no. And yeah, turns out she's been dead for 2 through 3 years.
And the jumping bodies has been years apart. Like, they've been time traveling as well.
And I forget when this revelation happens. It's somewhere from the plot, but there's a point where she goes to the city to try to find him, and he doesn't recognize her yet because at that point they had never met.
Oh my God. I'm remembering that scene now, and my heart breaks.
Oh my god, I know.
And that's where he had because he's been wearing a wristband the entire time, and that's...
Well, I think that's the revelation at the end, because they didn't reveal that until the ending. But that's fine, yeah. That because he's been wearing a wristband the whole time. He's like, oh, I don't know where I got it or whatever. And he got it when, like, because she met him, and, like, he was like, wait a minute. And she, like, threw her his headband, and he caught it, and she ran off the train or something. So, and so...
I think we can stop there for a recap of the film, because that's when things start to get... Because, again, we've told people to watch this for one. And that was sort of the build-up moment when everything starts to go to shit.
Yeah, everything just... It hits you like a bus, and you're like, oh my god. So what happens is Yuki ends up going back to the crater, I believe, and he takes the same journey that she did. And what happens is he goes to the same cave where that happened, and he finds, like, the drink or whatever, and I think he drinks it or something. And
yeah, because it has her soul, like, part of her soul in it.
Yeah, that was the whole...
Because of the ritual.
Because the ritual, part of her soul went into it, yeah. And so he was like, please, just give me this one chance to save her, please. And then I think he trips back, hits his head or something, and then it goes back in time, and they start switching bodies again. And
they start switching bodies again, and then it's a race against the clock to try and save everyone in the town.
So, exactly. So, and one of the things I laughed the most at was when he realized he was back in her body, because there's a running joke where he kept fondling her breasts, and her sister kept coming to wake her up, and she's like, what are you doing? She opens the door, and she's just pushing her breasts just in tears, just like, she sleeps.
No, it was even better because he says, okay, don't touch your breast. Don't touch your breast. I'm being hard cut.
It's time to get up. He's just crying while fondling them, and she slams the door and goes down to their grandma or whatever. She's like, I think she's finally lost it.
Oh, I forgot. This movie does have a lot of good jokes, so that way you're not entirely crushed the whole way through.
Because I think 5 centimeters a second, that didn't have much jokes in it. That was much more serious kind of tone.
No, that's just stomping on your heart the entire film.
Because that film had a much more somber, like, almost depressing feel to it, but it was still fucking gorgeous. But yeah, this one has a lot of jokes thrown in to offset the really heavy shit that happens. And so they're swapping...
Which also lets the characters feel more real.
Yeah. And so, should I finish up the recap real quick?
Huh?
Should I finish up the recap real quick? Or
yeah, go for it.
All right. So they're running against the clock or whatever, and they hit a point where they're trying to find each other in time because he wakes up and he goes to the top of the crater, and she goes up the same time at a different time, and somehow their times get connected and they get to talking to each other. And they can't see each other, but they can hear each other or something, I think, right? And so
first they hear each other.
Yeah. And then they see each other. But
yeah, then they're able to see each other and touch each other.
And so what happens is like, okay, like they make this plan to try to save the city, and they're going, blah, 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 blah. And so just to make sure they don't forget, they write down each other's name on their hands. And like, I think he writes his name on hers, but she ends up, because she thought she had more time, she ends up not finishing it. And like the pen just has a line, and he can't fucking remember her name for the life of him.
Yeah. Because they have until twilight is over, so basically as soon as the sun, between sunset and the sun being gone.
Yeah. And so they're going in a rush to save town. So she's going to try and convince her father of all this, because what her and her friends do initially, because she tries to convince her father and he says no. So they illegally, I think, hack the radio towers and emergency signals. They get like these explosive fireworks, because one of her friends works there, and they blow up the thing, and they like do a fake emergency broadcast, like to try and get the citizens to move over like to someplace else or something, and to like go to the school building where it's safe or something. And
yeah, because not the entire town was destroyed. There was a small part of it where the high school was that stayed safe during the blast.
Yeah, and so they're trying to get everyone to evacuate there, but they're having a big problem with it. And this is where it gets really fucking tense, where it's still racing against the time. And so she goes to her father, because her father's trying to shut it down while these shenanigans are going on. The townspeople are still like not really fully grasping the situation. And so she goes over to her father, because her father's in the building. She's like, she goes and she like really like gets really angry with him, and basically I think they're about to talk. And then, okay, so they're trying to save everyone. And then the fucking comet hits. And it shows the whole town blowing up again, blah, 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 boom, 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 buildings being destroyed, bam, everything getting wiped out. Cut to like 2 years later, when...
Literally 2 years
literally
later.
2 years later, when they're all like when, it's not Yuki. Is it Yuki? Hold on. Taki. I keep messing that up. They're similar names. Taki. And Taki's graduated and he's out job searching and stuff. He's wearing, so he's like, yo, man, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And they're talking. And I was thinking to myself at this point, wait, did they just fucking fail again? Did the town get destroyed and did they fail again? And so they're talking and they build this up so much. I'm just like, my heart, please tell me what happened. And they're like, yeah, some miracle happened where most of the city was saved when they went to the school. But they don't say that she survived or not.
Yeah, that annoyed the shit out of me. I was like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was like, oh, thank God they saved the school, but is she okay? Is she okay? And so he's going around, and I think they run into each other, and they see each other again. They're like, oh, thank God. But then it drags your heart around even more as they're going throughout the city, getting on different buses, trying to find each other. And this goes on for...
growing up as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think they reach at least out of high school.
Yeah, they're at least out of high school, probably like in their like really late teens, probably early 20s, and out job searching. And this is a good time later. And so they're going through the city, and they're just like, please God, because they were almost. I think what happens is they almost run into each other. Like I think they're on the train, but then they see each other out the window, and so he gets off. They're running through the city, and then they're running, and they're like, please find him. And just as at the point where Justin started screaming at the TV, and so they stop on the stairway, look at each other, and they're like, oh my God, yes. And then they just start walking by each other. And you're like, no, please. And then they turn around. And they're like, oh, thank God. And like, hey, can I know your name? And it ends.
It ends on that. And it's like, okay, I'm going to now assume that they get together and don't have kids because kids are terrible.
Kids suck. So, yeah, me and Justin.
And the birth rate is terrible in Japan. So, you know,
Is
they
it
probably
really?
didn't. Yeah, it's in the negative.
Is
at the
it
moment.
actually?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
That's what you get when you make a society completely based around work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, but that's a whole nother issue we'll get into another time. But
No, we won't. This is a film podcast.
but fucking yeah, that was your name.
Politics roulette. Welcome.
God damn it. No, never again.
Never
No,
again.
we're not doing politics, but fuck politics. We're gonna here talk about something important and not depressing in any way.
Well, it's not depressing because it's actually good
No,
news.
But it actually has a good ending, but throughout the whole thing it's just dragging your heart around. So now we can talk about why this movie was fucking amazing.
Okay, I think the simplest thing to start on, and this is true for all of the director's films. I feel really bad for not saying his name. What is it? Real quick.
I will get it right here in a sec. I have it pulled up. It's let me see if I'm gonna read it, try and pronounce it right. Makoto Shinkai.
Okay, Makoto Shinkai. His films in general are fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, like his films are among the most gorgeously animated films I've ever seen. Not just anime, generally the most gorgeously animated films I've ever seen in my life. The animation in 5 centimeters in this film is amazing.
It's like on Satoshi Kon levels of beautiful. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
It's almost, I don't know, I kind of like it over Satoshi Kon's too. Like, while his is still
Well, you
gorgeous-
gotta remember what the films are going for.
Yeah,
That's what I'm.
also true. But yeah, that's the thing. It it's just
Yeah.
beautiful. Like generally, it just And
It
he really likes his sunsets and like star things too, because
Oh,
5 centimeters
yeah.
has a rocket launch, and the comet thing is beautiful too. But just the lighting is just, oh my god.
I'm sure if he was able to, he would do an entire film in watercolors because that's what it almost seems like he's going with the way they shade and blend together.
He literally does go into watercolors for the trippy sequence when he goes back in time.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Oh.
on. If anything, even if you don't like the story somehow, for this film, it's beautiful to look at.
Yeah. It's so gorgeous.
Like, I can take any scene from this movie and keep it as a piece of art on my wall.
Exactly.
It's so fucking good.
Honestly, it's one of the most screen capable movies ever. It's so beautiful. Oh.
And what helps with all the visuals is actually the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. He does have good soundtracks and sound design and atmosphere in all his movies, pretty much.
5 centimeters per second basically has the same piano piece, just done at different tempos and with different keys.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking on that one. Like, I've listened to the soundtrack, and it's basically the same song, just different pitches, different tempos.
Interesting. Yeah.
But in this one, I think there's 3 original songs with lyrics. There's the ambient pieces, and all of them are on these beautiful piano and string instruments. It's just, oh my
so
goodness.
Good. Yeah, and because 5 centimeters a second was more going for like a realistic type of tone. Because I guess that's why it was more somber or something. This one was more, it had more not like over the top things, but it had more like sci-fi things like time travel and body swapping and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it had to have like a different kind of feel to it for the soundtrack and everything.
Which I'm really happy he was able to handle this well, because this is going to quickly get into another one of his movies. There won't be spoilers here, but
Children Who Chase Lost Voices?
Yes. Children Chase Lost Voices is a fantasy movie by him, and my biggest problem there was he would explain too much, and it would actually make the fantasy world boring, because while they're going through an action scene or something, they're also busy dumping all this exposition on what they're fighting, why they're here, and that sort of stuff, and it's like, I don't care. In this one, all you need to know is the comet is the thing that somewhat causes it. It's spiritual, and it's body swapping and time travel. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And it just works, because you don't need, unless you're one of those people who needs to know every single detail, it's perfectly passable with what you know.
Because you said the beginning and the ending of Children Who Chase Lost Voices were good. It was the middle when the huge exposition dump happened, right?
Yeah, the beginning and end of that movie was great, because that's when the character who's from the fantasy world is basically gone, so he can't explain anything, and it's just the human characters. And they get to see this lavish fantasy world. That's...
Because that was the thing, and comparing that to Spirited Away a little bit, I know it's kind of off topic, that didn't really need to explain it. It just showed you the weird, crazy world and just dumped you into it.
Yeah, there were some explanations for, like, hey, why are people coming here? Oh, it's a bathhouse. Okay.
But they didn't go into, like, the detailed background of the bathhouse or something like that.
Yeah, you didn't need to know exactly what No Face was.
No. And that was the thing. And like, I know we haven't seen enough to actually judge that, but judging from what you're telling me, like you've seen 3 of his films now, 2 out of 3 have been really well handled that way. So
I'm pretty sure they're all animated to this high of a standard.
Well, no, I'm saying like in regards to the story, there's no mishaps. Like he's had more well handled than bad handled, like Children Who Chase Lost Voices.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just in general, like the cinematography, or well, I should say animation in this case, but the animation and sound design just amazing.
So good. We watched the dub, so I always like to address that because some people only watch sub.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, we'll just say this. I forget if we even said it in Angel Beats, but if you like sub, great. If you like dub, great. Don't judge other people for preferring one over the other.
I am starting to understand, though, if you are hating recent dubbed anime.
Why is that?
Because simuldub, the more I learn about, the more I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think Funimation released recently like a behind-the-scenes thing about it. So
yeah, they have, and it's just like, so you're just rushing it out instead of actually thinking about it.
Which I have not seen any of the simuldub shows yet. I don't think they're terrible, but they're probably not up to the... Because I know Tokyo Ghoul Season 3 was simuldubbed. So I'm going to... I'll watch that.
The problem I've been hearing from people who binge a lot of anime is, since they have so little time, they only get people in Texas. And then you hear the same voices a lot. Which I'm sure those voice actors are great. But if you start hearing the same voice
Mhm.
and they don't have time to learn the character or really get range,
Yeah.
you get screwed.
Cause yeah, and the thing is, like, we don't binge anime that much. But like, so I mean, different voice actors wouldn't really bother me all that much. But if you do that, I understand.
Or if you're watching multiple shows at once and it's
Yeah.
like, oh hey, it's Steve Blum. Oh hey, it's Steve Blum.
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't like watching multiple animes at once. I like to enjoy one. Like, I watch one all the way through, unless it's really long. Then I'll watch all other ones. But like, I like to watch it all the way through, judge it, like get its faults, get its things down, then start another one. So that's what personally I like doing. So
well, also these are animes that are currently coming out, so I understand if people have multiple shows.
exactly. But like,
But anyway, that was a little
yeah.
tangent.
Besides, I think Funimation's really the only one that's doing that. But the problem is they're big, so they're probably,
they're the biggest distributor.
Yeah, they're probably getting most of the anime, because like other smaller companies like Sekai or Aniplex or whatever, they probably Aniplex. They're probably getting the like the ones that aren't like huge. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that was the thing. And I don't know, again, like, I was gonna say too, like, recent dubs have been a lot better than old dubs, so I never got that. But if it's simul-dubbed, I understand. Kind of.
I understand some complaints coming from that, but again, if you watch dub, that's fine. If you watch sub, that's fine.
Yeah,
We watched the dub. The voice actors did great in this film.
Yeah.
Getting back on point.
Exactly. So, but and just another final note, it's like, you don't tell someone they're wrong for watching, because I've gotten that so many times, like, oh, you're wrong for watching this dub, how dare you.
Yeah, but that person usually thinks Brotherhood is better than the original
Also
Full Metal Alchemist,
fair.
so they're wrong.
Also fair. We have a lot of unpopular opinions, so whatever.
I just like knowing the fact that someone would have turned this off after I say that.
Yes! See ya, bitch! Oh my
We don't
goodness.
actually mean you're a bitch. You're allowed to like what you want.
Yeah, you can like whatever the fuck you want. We're not gonna judge you here. Personally, we both like dubs better. But if you like subs, that's fine. So, but yeah, voice actors did a fantastic job all around. The delivery was great, really made you care about the characters. And even the secondary characters were all voiced really well. There was a lot of care put into them.
Yeah, I can't really... I think there was maybe one or two times when someone said a line funny, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, like, it didn't distract, because for the most part, it was just fantastic dubbing, so...
Yeah, because every anime has those moments where it's like, nice read.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, were they dangling the paycheck in front of you when you read that?
Maybe the dad was the worst voice actor.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he didn't really have too many scenes, so...
I know, he didn't have too many scenes, but if someone was like, what's the worst voice actor in the Your Name dub? I guess the dad?
I could see that. Yeah, but...
Because I think he was the one who mainly had nice read.
Yeah, because, like, he's like, going, like, he's a politician, so he's like... I forget what it's called, like going to a crowd rally. That's it. And like he calls out his daughter or something. We were like, yeah, great read there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, like he's really the only like one that would, if we really had to say someone was bad, everyone else did a real fantastic job with maybe one or two funny line reads.
I can't think of many problems with this movie though.
No, that's the thing. Like they would be nitpicky if any, honestly. Like I know the one you said was that you wish they would have like established more that the schoolhouse was safe or something.
Yeah, that was one slight problem I had. When he's at the town seeing it when it was destroyed, they don't show the school at all.
Yeah, that kind of just does come out of nowhere, because like, go to the school, it's safe. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but everyone was saying the entire town was destroyed, so that gave me a bit of a head scratcher.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was just a simple shot where it was like a side shot of Taki and you see the school behind him, so it's like mental knowledge.
Yeah.
Or maybe there was, and I wasn't paying enough attention.
Who knows? I'll let you know when I rewatch it.
That could also be a possibility. Or maybe they even say it quickly, because there's a bit where him and his friends are looking at the past of the town.
Mm-hmm.
The other complaint that I could see someone bringing up is how easily they seem to forget each other's fucking name.
But again, the problem is they're literally going through time, and time is not a kind mistress.
Well, yeah, they're breaking time, space, and spirit.
Yeah, literally
Also,
all of the above.
all their text messages and the notes they take for each other start to disappear.
Yeah, because again, they're literally breaking the rules of space-time. So, of course, time has to sort of kind of fix itself. So,
Which also then kind of raises the question: well, who's going to die now for the town that survived? If we're going by that cliche
I know.
of how time travel works, who's going to have to die now?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Chernobyl happened. Are you really
exactly.
happy for this
Fun
story?
fact: they caused Chernobyl. But I don't know. I don't know, man. It's also true.
Well, they might be true. We
I
don't
know.
know.
This might just be the optimist in me because I'm an optimist. I just like to think that they just kind of fixed it on its own and just kind of set on a different course. Kind of like Steins Gate style, where it's like, oh, we're on the A timeline, but now we're on the B timeline or something like that.
Cut this out. Okay, cut back in.
Why? Did you just want to make that little quip?
I wanted to make that joke, but I don't want to spoil that for
Okay.
people.
All right. So the audience will not know what we said. So, oh well.
Correct. Cameron, you can't save the butterflies and the spiders.
Oh, dude, come on, man.
I can reference Trigun all I want, bitch.
God damn it. Fucking.
No one talks about Trigun anymore.
They don't, and they should. It's amazing.
They should. Next show, though we don't know what the next show
No,
is.
we don't. I hope
We're in
it's
the past.
I hope it's Eden of the East. I really do. I wanted.
Well, no, we might be past whatever the show
I know.
is after Gravity Falls. Well, we should be.
Yeah, also fair because we're gonna spin it when we do season 2, whenever that may be. So again, we're in the past right now, but this is gonna be released in the future, so this might get a little awkward because we genuinely have no idea what's going to be released at this time.
Cameron and Justin are dead.
Wow, that took a dark turn there.
We died like 2 months ago, but you set these to be released.
That would be so dark. Oh my god.
Called it.
No, you didn't, bitch.
Might.
No.
Nuclear war, always there.
Threat of nuclear war, always there. But anyway, is there anything else we want to say about the movie? Because
How long have we been going?
we're at 48 minutes right now, and we haven't had much cuts, so it'll probably be about 46 at this point. 48.
Yeah, surprisingly, we made this through without needing a cry break.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. This was probably the best of all the movies we watched.
Yeah, and we ended on 2 really good movies for their own reasons. We ended on Suspiria, which is an amazing horror movie, and we ended on.
But that wasn't for this. We should already have the episode out.
That one will be out, but I'm saying like when we binge this, it's this is literally 6 months from the time it's supposed to be released.
I know, and I know your release schedule. Anyway,
not that bad, motherfucker. Not that bad.
How long did it take for Cameron's Corner to come out?
Again, that was because of my computer. That was technical issues.
Anyway.
Bitch.
Bitch.
But no, yeah. This, in summary, this is a.
One last thing. This was you said this too. This was one of the rare films where you actually didn't know where it was going.
Yeah. Because like we've seen so many films at this point where we can usually call it cliches, like, oh, it's probably going to do this, oh, it's going to do this or something, it's leading up, clearly building up towards this. But you watch this and it hits you with the emotional bus and you genuinely have no idea where it's going to go. Like,
yeah, like I may have loved the film Baby Driver, but when I saw it for the first time, I knew where it was going.
Exactly. Well, there was that one moment where you were like, man, is it going to get actually this dark and like kill him? And yup, zoom. Because you didn't think he'd go there, but he fucking went there.
Yeah.
But that was about it. It was, other than that, it was still an amazing movie, but really just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of if there, like, of any movies that have come out that have really made me question, like, where the fuck it was going.
Yeah, and that's why I love the initial beginning build-up, because it's like, it sets a different tone, it sets up, oh, happy body swapping, ha ha, blah, blah, blah.
And then smashes the window and shows reality.
So that it builds it up so it can just hit you with a bus and just say, sup, bitch, here's what actually happened.
It shattered the stained glass window and showed the city on fire.
Yep, pretty much.
Boom! That was the most artsy way I could describe it. Woo!
Woo! Pretension.
Yeah. Before we did Blade Runner episode should have already been done, even though we're recording it next time. We haven't done it yet.
Well, it's gonna be a long one. That and Gravity Falls is gonna be long fucking episodes.
Those are.
I think we'll have an easier time talking about Blade Runner than we will.
I might have a
Falls.
problem because I forgot all the movie.
Have you actually?
I have. We'll
Which
talk
one?
about it
Which
when
one,
we
the
get to the
original
episode.
well, real quick.
With that, we already did.
Which one? Original or 20?
Yes.
Okay. But
but we will have already talked about it. See, time travel. It's a theme. We're totally not just recording
Yep.
these out of order.
nope, totally not just going them out of order because we're lazy and stuff. So
No, it's not that we're lazy. We were emotionally crippled.
also fair.
And the reason we were able to do the last episode, which is gonna be are we telling what we're doing next? Yeah, we did, because I said in the first episode that we were doing Blade Runner, and then Blade Runner will probably say we're doing this.
Yeah, so we're fine.
So yeah, next episode is Star Wars Episode 8, which will be live action, and we did because I was after finishing that film, I was 100% ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which that one's, if this one pissed anyone off, that one's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Ooh, I will probably lose some subs for that, so I can see it.
How many of them remember they're still subscribed to your channel?
Who fucking knows?
The answer is 3.
I don't think it's that low.
There's me, there's Jarek, and there's Goober.
I don't think it's that low, but okay. Actually,
Fine. 20. I'll give you 20.
oh my god. But yeah. So that was your name. Anything else in conclusion, or?
I give this a solid 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. It was one of those rare movies where you see it's like...
It's one of those movies where if someone tells me they haven't seen it, I will probably tape them down to a chair.
Yeah, and make them watch it.
No, just tape them down to a chair. We could watch the movie, I guess, but,
I'm having fun watching you struggle.
That sounds really dark!
I know, that's why I said it. But yeah.
We need a happy note to end on.
Yes, we do. Because the film ended on a happy note.
Trump will probably die before us.
Oh, thank God. All right, and that's the most political we're ever going to get here on Cinema Roulette.
Probably not.
Really? You think?
Oh, we might watch a political movie at some point and have to talk politics.
I guess. But that's the story for another day.
Also, hey, because I like recommending movies, if you haven't seen, oh shit, hold on. Sorry to Bother You. I know this is in the future, and it's probably on DVD at this point.
Yeah.
Go watch that. That's a good movie.
It was one of the few movies that me and Justin had no idea what it was about. I didn't even know it was a thing until Justin told me. So
Yeah.
like it was
Don't look anything up on it, just watch it.
Just go. If it's in, it's out of theaters. I know this time, but if you can find it online or if you can buy the Blu-ray or whatever, watch it. Just watch it.
Do actually buy it, because this is an independent director. This isn't a big studio, so you should feel bad if you pirate.
Well, I meant if it was like streaming on Amazon. That's not really what I was insinuating. But if you want to be a terrible person, go ahead. But
We promoted piracy before, and we haven't stopped. So I was just covering our asses on that one.
okay, fair. But
Anyway, we will see you live next time.
see you then, guys. Bye.
Bye.
全然前世から僕は君を探し始めたよその不吉祥な笑い方をめがけてやってきたんだ